planter kits, but instead of buying the expensive covers and all the fertilizer, I'm using a Miracle-Gro garden soil. Feeds for 3 months. I'm just taking a trash bag like here, heavy-duty trash bag, cutting it in 3, wrapping it with electrical tape. It's easy, a lot cheaper. They get like $36 for the covers. Now what I'm doing is I put the supports right away, colored supports for yellow, red peppers, and so forth. Over here you can see, before we cover them, always mound your soil up on these, because what happens if you don't, these are going to be covered. They're always watered from the bottom of the unit. Now if you don't mound the soil, then you get big puddles on top, and that's not what you want for the plants. When you water any of these boxes, all you do is squirt the water in the hole. So you see the water come out the bottom over here. Once that water comes out of the bottom, that's on this side. Once the water comes out, you see the water streaming out of the bottom, you know that the whole reservoir is full. There's nothing you have to do. There's no watering from the top on these. All you do is leave it like that, fill that until you see it come out, and that's all you have to do to take care of it. This is going to be the first year I'm not doing the fertilizer and their cover inside, so we'll do another video to show you how it comes out. This is the second part of the video on the EarthBox grow system. As you can see, what I usually do is I start some plants from your local, hardware or garden center. Start some plants, and on this side I just start the seeds. It makes like 2 crops. The nice thing with the EarthBox system, like in the last video, is you just put the top on, put your soil in, put your fertilizer in, put your top on, and it grows. The thing you have to do is there's a reservoir on the bottom, so what you're doing is you're filling that hole right here every day, and the little thing that runs out the bottom, like I showed in the last video, it's when it's full. What we're going to show you today is how you can take all the work out of the EarthBox system by putting in the automatic watering system. What we're going to start to do is we're going to come over here. Now, notice where they are. I'm going to take and dig a small hole and bury it so it's not in my way, but I'll start step by step to show you. First, you take this piece from the EarthBox grow system and you attach it to the house. Then I'm going to take this line and I'm going to bury it all the way over there to where the grow boxes are. So I can just put the water on and forget about it. And I'll show you step by step how I'm going to do that. Now that I've screwed that pot onto the house, you can put a T if you only have one water valve, so you don't want to lose your water to your hose just by a T valve at any hardware store, and it has an on-off on it. What I'm going to do is I've attached it here. I haven't cut any of it, and I ran it all the way over my grow box. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury it in here. And all you do is take the shovel, and it's very small, very easy to do. Just go like this, make a pot, and when you bury this inside and you put it under here, you just scoop the grass back on top. If you cut the grass like that, you are never even going to know once you cover it up, like this is in the rock, but over here in the grass that you even put it in. And if you live in an area where it's winter, when the winter comes, all you have to do in the fall is take a compressor with a little one of the air shots, blow air into the hose, disconnect it, blow air into the hose till all the water's out, and you can actually leave it underground like that and put your grow box in the same place next time, and you don't even have to do any work next year. As you see, I simply just took my shovel and I made just one, not scooping out either, just putting a shovel cut in the sod and coming straight down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury my wire in there. And like I said, in the winter, put a compressor through it, blow the water out. You can even leave it in there. Now, if you have a super nice lawn you're worried about, once you lay this thing underneath the sod cover, all you have to do, take the garden hose and water it. Within a couple of days, you won't even know you ever did it, and it'll be under there. Now, once you've buried your line all the way up, you want to leave yourself some slack. The EarthGrow watering system is going to give you these different barbs here. There's one T, the white T for the big main water line, and the other 6, this is growing here for 6, those are for going to each and every one of the things. So you see that you got the smaller barb on the T, you get the smaller barb on the T, and you get the larger barb. So what you're going to do is, this is the watering system, which works on a float, and this sits right inside the tube. And you're going to make sure the tube is the right length. They give you 6 of them. If you don't already have the originals, they do give it to you. And so what you're going to do is you're going to cut here. Now give yourself some slack in case you want to move the grow box later anywhere. Then you're going to hook this one here, and then you're going to take the smaller tube they give you, and you're going to connect that there, and I'll show you when it's done. As you see, here's the main water line buried. I come up, come down to the first grow box. I use a T to come off there, to go to the first one, and now I want to take the bigger line, go from the T and go over to the second box. Now, as you see, what I'm doing here is after I come up and I put the T onto the automatic waterer with a smaller hose connecting it, I've dug another hole and I've buried the line to come over to the next box. And then I put my T on there and I'm digging a hole to go to the next box. Now what I'm doing here is I'm only putting my T. Now my other boxes are over here, so notice the shovel marks. Just like when we buried the main water line, I'm putting it over to here. Now I'm going to do that for each and every one of these. Reason being is it's easier for me later because I can walk in between all my boxes and I can walk through here, cut the lawn, whatever, without cutting up the hose or hitting the hose or tripping on the hose. And like I said, the easiest thing to do is you take an air compressor with one of those sprayers, put it on there, blow your water lines out, mark where your little lines are, and you'll be all set up for next year. Okay, now from over here where I showed you last, I've buried the line again, going under there so we can walk around it. Place my T's like I've showed you here with the two different kind of lines that they give you. Come over here, done another T buried underneath so I can walk in between. And now, take this, what I'm going to show you is a trick that I learned on doing the T's. Now, some of you might have arthritis. A lot of people have a hard time pushing the lines together. So let me show you a little trick here. This is the final line coming up. So instead of using a T, we're going to be using the final connect. Unlike the T, so you can keep going with the line, this is the last one. Take a lighter, and what you do is just at the end, heat it up. Just a little bit, but only at the end. Reason being, when you push this in, it lets you push it in easy, but if you heat too well down here, what's going to happen is when you push it in, it's going to fold in on you. Now, these the little lines, even what do you call it, more delicate. So, do a quick, turn it. Make sure you're turning it. And don't do too much, because if you do too much, when you go to push this on, it will just fold over. Now, the last thing I want to show you, too, on this, connecting one of these, is if your EarthBox came with one of these that has a bevel at the end, don't use them. The kit comes with all new ones of these. This is imperative to having the right size, because this only works on water pressure. Water's going to fill here. When the line gets up here, it can't go up. So this has to be at the proper level. If it's not, then it's just going to keep overflowing, and you don't want that. So these get placed in here. These just hook here. Now the final one here, I'm just going to heat this up again, just at the end. Because especially if you have arthritis or anything like that, your hand's weak, it's very hard to push these on. And we're done. Now, when we put the water on, let's go over here, walk over here and put the water on. One of the other things I want to show you is you might not want to leave your water on all the time. Put it on. You might not want to leave your water all the time. They sell at the hardware store T's and timers. You can put this on so it only goes on an hour a day, fills the boxes and shut off. This way, if you go on a trip or you're going away for the day, you wouldn't want to take the chance on this popping off or something in the water running. So I would suggest putting a timer on the house to make sure that the thing shuts off on its own. Now once this thing fills with water, once this thing comes in and fills, water's going to flow through here, into here, and stop in here. It's going to keep the reservoir full, and you shouldn't see water coming out of here because that's the overflow. The system actually works on air pressure in that tube. See inside now, you can see the water dripping down into the system. Well, what happens is you can see this one here is already full. So it is stopped. Notice when I pick it up. When I pick it up, see the water starts coming out? It's this air pressure in this tube with this float at the bottom. When you go like this, it just stops. And that's how it keeps the EarthBox always full.